Happy Friday, everyone. We're gonna get into our triple jump lesson. So I'm gonna talk about what we're gonna get into today. We're gonna talk about the hop, step, jump. We'll break those down and show how to do those. We'll do those in place and then also out on the track, or if you're in your backyard, you can do them down your hallway in your house. We'll show different ways of how to do that, how to practice it. And then we'll end today talking about the approach, our run up into the triple jump, and then we'll measure out to see how far we can jump as well. So the hardest part about the triple jump is learning the steps. So the step is a hop, a step, then a jump into the sand pit. We start off with the hop. When you hop, you are starting on one foot, and then you're hopping and landing on the same foot. Okay, that could be your right foot or your left foot, whichever one you're most comfortable with. I choose my right foot, so I'm more confident in jumping and landing on my right foot as we go through. Okay, that is same foot to same foot. Then when we do our hop, we want to make sure that we're not hopping for a height as we go through it. We're hopping for a distance as we go. So we're going forward. Okay, and then we're gonna land, try and land on our hop with our foot right underneath us. So we don't want to land with our foot in front or foot behind. Make sure to try to land with our foot right underneath us. Okay, so that's the hop. Then moving into the step, okay, it's gonna be the foot you just landed on. So if I hopped with my right foot, I landed on my right foot, and I'm stepping onto my opposite foot. So I'm landing on the opposite foot this time. So those two together, it's a hop, step, all right, from there. So when we step, we want to really make a big step out, and it's called a step, but we're not just stepping forward, we're really leaping forward, landing on that opposite foot as we go through the whole motion. The last part is the jump. The jump is we're jumping into the sand pit and we're landing on 2 feet. Okay, so I chose my right foot to hop on. So I hop, land on my right foot, step, land on my left foot, and then jump, land on both feet. Show that one more time. It's a hop, step, jump. Cones on the ground. I'm going to be using these to try and guide my opposite foot over, so that keeps me knowing that I want to stay low close to the cones. So I'm going to hop up, guide my foot over, and land back on that same foot. And then from there, I'm just going to jump out forward. So we're just doing the hop and then a jump into the pit. So here we go. Watch my feet as we go through. We get a couple of steps in and do a 4-step approach. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I hop, and then I'm going to jump in. So here we go, all together. So after we do the hop, we got to do the step. So moving into the step now. I'm still going to leave those cones there because I really want to focus going forward into my hop. All right, and then remember the step is going to be a jump forward onto our opposite foot, and then after that I'm jumping into the pit. So here we go, it's going to be a hop, step, and then jump. Still doing just a 4-step approach. As we get more comfortable, we'll move our approach further back. So now I'm going about 6 steps back. So as we get more and more comfortable, we can move our approach back. And we're trying to gain speed, because when we get into our hop, step, jump, we want to be at a sprint so that we can get as much momentum into our jump, get as far down the runway as we possibly can, so that our last jump is from as close to that sand pit as we possibly can get it into the sand pit. Just finished talking about our hop, step, jump. And once we have that down, we want to learn our approach so we can get the right amount of steps that when we get into our hop, we're at our quickest speed so we can build that momentum into our jump. When we talk about an approach, we're talking about a certain amount of steps to where we're going to be at our top speed. So normally it's about a 10 to 16 step approach, depending on where you can reach your top speed. You're going to start off with a sprint in a sprinter's position, so we're going to have a little bit of a lean forward, and then as soon as we get to kind of our top speed, we want to get into that hop at a tall position with our body. As we learn our approach and we get our steps down, the key is consistency. So always starting from that same spot so that our feet are landing and are in the same spots as we go down the runway, and then we're able to talk more about the board and where our hop starts as well. All right, the key to getting a good triple jump in is making sure that we know where the boards are to start our triple jump. So down here on the what is called the runway, we have these white lines. So we have these white lines. So we have one here and one here. Okay, these are the boards. These are the markers to where you start your hop. In middle school, they usually have multiple options. So you'll be able to tell the recorder that I'm gonna start my hop from this line, all right, so that they know to look for that line. Because when I go into my hop, all right, I cannot step over that line or else that would be a scratch. So I can step on the board, I can step behind the board, but I can never step over that line for it to be a legal jump. So your goal when you're going into your approach and you're starting your hop is to get as close to the edge of that line on the board as you possibly can, so I can get as close to the sand pit to get a further distance in my jump. So when we get over here and we talk about the boards, we know what those are. We're going to talk about our steps from that board. So as I mentioned before, we're usually about a 10 to 16 step approach. I have a cone here to mark where my steps are going to end. And that way I can move the cone up or down depending on how close I am getting to landing my hop from this board. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on the board, and I'm just going to take the same approach that I would towards the sand pit, away from the sand pit, down the runway. So my approach today is going to be a 10-step approach. So I'm starting on the board. From here, I'm facing down the runway, and I'm going to start in a sprint. And when I get that 10th step, I want to make sure I know where that foot lands so I can turn and face the sand pit from there. So starting here. So now that I got my 10-step approach, I'm going to be starting from where I put down this cone every time to kind of guide where I want to be, so that when I hit my 10th step at my fastest speed, then I can start my hop right on the board from there. From your approach, you start at the line, your 10 to 16 step approach. Remember to have a marker so you know where you are at all times, and you're always going to adjust it depending on where your foot lands on the board. You start in a sprinter's down, leaning forward. As I get to my top speed, you'll see my body kind of get taller in a taller position as I get there, as I approach the board. Here you go. Measurement. So I chose this board to start my hop. Okay, so when I am getting recorded for distance, they're going to record from this board out into the sand. Okay, since this is where my jump starts, this is where my distance starts as well. So they'll have a marker, usually on the side of the board. Right? From there, they'll pull it all the way out and they'll mark the closest point that I make in the sand to the edge of the sand pit. Right, so if I land with 1 foot back and 1 foot forward, they're gonna mark that back foot, not the one that is forward in front. So it's the closest point. So when you see people jump into the sand on the videos that I showed you on Google Classroom, you'll see a lot of them, they jump both feet out and they try and fall to the side so that their butt hits the sand. They'll mark from where their butt hits the sand. Okay, it's the furthest thing back. And now we measure. All right, after the jump, there will be someone recording, marking the spot on the sand. So as you can see over here, this is where my heels landed. This is the furthest point back, okay? So I'm gonna be measuring from right here on the spot. So I'd move it over, and it's about 32 feet and 1 inch. So I hope you enjoyed our lesson today on the triple jump. We talked about the hop, step, and the jump, the approach, and and then how to measure as well. Make sure to go onto our Google Classroom, go through our slides. If you have any questions about the triple jump, remember you can always email me. I'll be completely available from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right, have a great rest of your day.